Hello, everybody. I became highly motivated to do more research into the city of Taylor after my comment section got a bunch of bot comments in it right after I started talking about the AI data center thing. Anytime something like this happens, I become very suspicious and I just become more curious to look into it more. Call it an autism thing. It's just the more you try to do something to discourage me from doing something, the more curious I'm going to become, to the detriment of my own ability to be productive with other things that I'm doing, like responding to one person that wants to sue me, another person who's already suing me, running my company, and scheduling a tour for the summer to try to reform the DMCA, and a number of different things that are the reason that I look as tired as I am right now. My apologies if I don't wind up editing this video very much. Anyway, after this botting of my comment section happened, I started to wonder who was doing it. And then I looked through and I just tried to find all the statements they're making and figure out where I found it. And a lot of these statements were an almost direct overlap with the City of Taylor's Executive Director of Community Services. I can't really prove that he did it, but it's just very suspicious. Now, I was wondering, could this botting of my comment section be something that's occurring from somebody who's just generally pro AI data center being put in land used for a park? Could it be the company themselves? Could it be the city? And after what I saw today, there's this really small thing, but just a really fucked up thing to do, in my opinion. I'm starting to think that it was the city. And I wanted to show you the way that the city of Taylor communicates. Regardless of whether you're conservative, liberal, woke, side, whatever the hell you are, the one question that I want you to be asking yourself is, at the end of the year, when you get a property tax bill, when you're paying sales tax, if you could have $300 back at the end of the year, or the person who does the things that I'm going to be pointing out here continues to have a job, I want you to ask yourself, like, what would you rather have? So one of the pages that I kept getting linked to was this page on taylortexas.gov, where they're defending the data center. They're talking about the benefits to the community concerns, and the property history. But it looked different. Something had popped out to me the last time that I had read this, and I couldn't see the thing that had popped out to me last time when I looked at the page today. So I decided to go to archive.org out of curiosity, because as you may have noticed from my We Recover Data video, anytime that archive.org just teaches me a lot of things about a company, and sometimes it can about a city as well. So I went to this page, and you may notice that it's almost completely the same. However, the one difference that I found is the name of one dude that is in bold. And I was curious, why is Mayor Don Hill in bold? And if you browse back through archive.org and you click on different dates, you'll notice that on different dates, his name is sometimes bolded and sometimes not. Sometimes bolded and sometimes not. Like, what's up with that? And I was very curious. So when I looked into him, it looks like he was Taylor's first black mayor. Now, why does this matter? I know some people are going to be rolling their eyes and saying, oh, you're playing the race card. And one thing to understand here that's very interesting to me is that there were a lot of people that showed up to that hearing saying that that they found this to be racist because, how do I put this? When there's a deed restriction, normally the deed just wins over everything else. But then when it says in the deed this has to get used for a park, and this is in a minority community, that's when they're like, yeah, we're just like, fuck this. We're just going to put that thing there anyway. That's when 1,400 people sign a petition and the mayor doesn't even show up to acknowledge you. That's when like it just gets ignored. And I kind of understand the argument there. There were a lot of people from diverse backgrounds that showed up to protest this particular data center. Old people, young people, white people, black people. Pretty much everybody didn't like the idea of this being used as a data center instead of as a park, given the deed's original language. And the number of people that signed the petition were actually almost double the people that voted in the last mayoral election. But anyway, going back on that, why does this matter? Well, when you read the text of the page, it looks like their unanimous approval from Mayor Don Hill. What this page is really doing when you read through it is they're trying to pin on him that this happened. Like, instead of blaming the people that are here today, what you should really be doing is blaming the guy that was here 21 years ago. And in my opinion, like when I read this, the contextual argument that I'm getting is, you people are yelling racism, but look at this. It was one of your people that approved this. It was your like, and that's kind of like, how to put this? I'm trying to figure out the sensitive way to say this. I'm failing. Yeah, like instead of just saying the N-word, they're just saying like, yeah, look, bolded. Mayor Don Hill unanimously went for this. And there's a few reasons that I think that this is a complete bullshit, a total deflection, for two different reasons. The first is that, and I'm going to explain this later, because even just defending Mayor Don Hill is kind of accepting the premise of assholes here to begin with. But behind door number two, the main thing is that it's deflections that you don't focus on what's going on right now. I'm going to be reading from my notes because I have a lot of things going on and I'm just tired. I don't usually read from notes, but I will for this video. I find this to be a passive-aggressive dog whistle and a deflection. This occurred in 2005. I don't have a time machine, right? I don't know what Mayor Don Hill would have done if you had come up to Mayor Don Hill in 2005 and said, excuse me, sir, it looks like this land has been zoned to be used as a park, and 1,400 people here, over double the people that voted for you, have actually signed a petition saying they don't want to see this become an AI data center. Would Mayor Don Hill have said, oh my God, we made a tremendous mistake, I'm so sorry? Or would he have said, fuck you guys, we're moving ahead with it anyway? I don't know. I don't have a time machine. I don't know what he would have said given that information at the time. You know what I can tell you? What the current mayor did, what the current city council did, what the current people voted for. The current mayor didn't even show up when the people brought in a legally ratified petition asking them to honor the deed. The current city council declined to put up a legally ratified petition on the ballot asking them to honor the deed. That was the current city council. That was the current mayor. And above all, the current city administration's communication staff, the same people that I'm more and more starting to think are the people that were actually botting my comment section, are the ones that are editing the website to put the guy's name in bold, to try and subtly push this point and get you guys all aggravated, like fighting over the woke versus the conservative city council and trying to get and the ones that are, in my opinion, passive aggressively dog whistling, but actually baiting you. This is not about race. This is about your elected officials pulling the wool over your eyes and fucking with you as they rob you blind. Did Don Hill have a job as a regional sales manager of a company that actively markets products to data centers? No. Did the ex-mayor put his best friend in a commission where he could ban citizens from recalling elected officials in the future while he was a mayoral candidate? No. Did that best friend, once he became mayor, move forward with the motion of selling that land to a data center, a massively unpopular decision, and vote in favor of citizens not being able to recall elected officials to hold them accountable later? No. Did Don Hill, after doing all of this, stop showing up to city council hearings at the same time that he sold his house in the neighborhood he's tasked to govern? No. This is deflection. This is bullshit. It's there to get you guys to argue with one another about what people did 21 years ago instead of focusing on what's happening today. I hope you see it for that. And I hope that you really just keep asking yourself that one question. If you could have $200 or $300 back at the end of the year, or the people that work communications for the city still have a job, when you know that by looking at this fucking website that they actually have the time to twiddle their dick and sit there thinking, how can I get people to fight amongst each other? Maybe I can bold this text to kind of send a dog whistle and imply that this guy from 21 years ago is the guy that you should really be mad at. The fuck? The fact that they even have the time to do this shit is what makes me real. Like, this is why. What the fuck is the point of bolding that guy's name and then unbolding it? I don't know. What the fuck is the point of having like 30 different bots show up in my comments that keep saying the same shit with a bunch of fucking M dashes? It's not this, it's that. That's some manipulative ass bullshit. It's some passive aggressive, petty bitch shit. I don't know how else to explain it. I think this is just pure bait. And it's not even true bait, it's false. Texas zoning law says it very simply. A comprehensive plan shall not constitute zoning regulations or establish zoning district boundaries. This 2005 vote did not zone this land or approve any center. And if you take a look at the actual map that is on the fucking page that they're referring to, and you zoom in on it, you'll see in the very corner, a comprehensive plan shall not constitute zoning regulations or establish zoning district boundaries. Local Government Code, Section 219005. The city's own page dates the real designation to 2023. It says, and I quote, in 2023, the Land Development Code was updated to reflect the comprehensive plan. The new code was designated the property as an employment center, not 2005, that was 2023. And the specific project was approved in 2025 by the people in office now, not 21 years ago. The choices that matter are the choices that are being made now. The question is not whose fault this is. It's about whether a deed that says Parkland gets honored and whether the current city council approves this or stops it. And the reason I'm calling this bait is because in a lot of community groups, you'll see one or two particular people that just keep reposting this over and over and over and over again. And they keep pointing to Don Hill's vote, look at Don Hill's vote, look at Don Hill's vote. And then you go through archive.org and sometimes it's bolded and sometimes it isn't. Like, what are you doing, bro? You know who you are. And I see you. You passive-aggressive fucking weasel. Come out and say what it is you want to say. At least have the balls to say, yo, that ain't racist. That was your motherfucking dude right there that did that shit. You don't say it. Like, you don't have it in you to say that because you're a bitch. You don't have it in you to say what you actually think. Shit, at least Chud the Builder is honest. For fuck's sake. And the thing is, you'll see that this actually did kind of work because in my last live chat, you'll see people in the chat that were going on and off about, oh my God, this is race baiting. Look at this race baiting. And it's like, you know who I think is doing the race baiting? The city. The city. And the people who are relatives of the people that worked for the city. Because who's making those community posts everywhere and pointing this out? Relatives of people that work for the city. Relatives of people that are salespeople at these companies that sell equipment, AI data centers. Fuck, man. I may be a New Yorker. I may be used to 8.5 million people cities, but I can learn, man. I learn slow, but I learn. The same edit changed more than just the emphasis. The city added a property history table setting out the deed chain in its own words, from the Bland family's July 7, 1999 conveyance to the Texas Parks and Recreation Foundation for $10 to the $10 million sale to the developer on April 11, 2025. Its note in the 1999 deed says that the deed states the property was to be held in trust and that this was not a deed restriction. That second line matches nearly word for word what Daniel Seguin told Newsweek and what this page records under the city's position. Daniel Seguin is the person whose words just so happen to match almost word for word the bots in my comment section. This is the page where somebody is editing things to make them bold or not bold to get people angry at each other. I can't say that Daniel's the one that edited this page. I can't say that. I know that for sure. But I do know he didn't show up to the last meeting. And I do know that his words very often match the bots in my comment section. And I do know that he's the city's executive director for community services. I see you. Other edits on that page were softening an account of environmental review from hiring HDR to conduct an environmental impact study to hiring HDR to assess environmental impact, and dropped a bold from several other phrases. The City of Taylor's project page traces the industrial designation to a single 2005 action, credited on that page to Mayor Don Hill. The document adopted on January 13, 2005 is the city's future land use map, the map illustrating its comprehensive plan, and a comprehensive plan is not zoning. Texas Local Government Code 213.005 requires that a map of comprehensive plan illustrating future land use carry the statement, a comprehensive plan shall not constitute zoning regulations or establish zoning district boundaries. The city's 2005 map, whose title block reads adopted January 13, 2005, carries that required notation. A comprehensive plan is a picture of what the whole city might look like decades out. Zoning is the enforceable law that controls what can be built on one specific parcel. Describing the 2005 map as zoned industrial treats a land use plan as though it were a zoning ordinance. Nor did the 2005 map single out the donated tract. Its industrial color is a quarter-scale block covering the whole south and southeast industrial area along US 79 and the rail line, one of 16 land use categories applied across the entire city and its extraterritorial jurisdiction. The map's amendment index for 2006, 2008, 10, 11, and 12 records changes to other areas and never spot changed this track, so its industrial designation sat in the original base map rather than being drawn into the parcel letter. The parkland is one parcel inside a contiguous industrial district of several hundred acres, not a lot that the 2005 plan reached out to mark. Don Hill was not a powerful, long-serving elected mayor either. Before May 2026, Taylor did not popularly elect a mayor. The city council chose one of its 5 members to hold the office. The city government's page states that the mayor was appointed by the city council following each election to serve a 1-year term, and that the office became directly elected only beginning in May of 2026. Hill held that rotating council seat when the plan was adopted in January 2005, and as a section above documents, was a plain council member by August 26, 2008, transferred the Lands Development Corporation. The act that set the data set and rebuilt on tract is recent, not 2005. The city's page says the EC, Employment Center designation, was created when the Land Development Code was rewritten in 2023, and the Planning and Zoning Commission approved the Blueprint Employment Center plan by a 6-0 vote on June 10, 2025, on Mayor Buzan's motion. The current mayor of Taylor, the mayor that didn't show up to the city council hearing to hear your petition protesting this, the mayor that just put his house up for contract after listing it for sale a few weeks ago. The 2005 the page leans on is not even where the tract's industrial designation begins. The archived June 2026 project page said the land had been zoned industrial as far back as 2005, yet the city's executive director of community services, Daniel Seguin, traced it further back still when he told KView in July of 2025, really you could go back over 30 years to when the property had been zoned industrial for use. More than 30 years before that 2025 interview reaches past the mid-1990s. A decade or more before the 2005 vote. What the fuck is the point of bolding his name and then unbolding it? Why are family members and friends of past city officials continuously posting a link to this and pointing to the bolded guy's name? What are you all doing? I thought New York City was fucking dysfunctional. Oh my God. I have not been to small town Texas. This is just a whole new level. Take the advice that I always need to take from my personal trainer. When people are trying to deflect from their own actions by saying, oh, look at what somebody did 20 years ago. Oh, I'm getting a bunch of threats that I'm not willing to report to the police or the Senate commissioner or anybody, but they're real. Like, no. Focus on the actions of the people that are doing this shit now. Look at what they're doing, because what they're doing is they're pointing out everybody else's actions in the hope that you are just going to ignore all the fucked up shit that they're doing right now. And again, the last thing that I'll ask you, regardless of your politics, I want you to think about this. Would you rather have the money in your bank account, or would you rather somebody have a job at the city who has so little to do that figuring out what words to bold and not bold on a website to race bait you are top of mind so that you can rage at each other on Facebook? Nah. Ask for your money back. Clean sweep. All these people. Clean sweep. I'm going to put all the information out there as often as I can. I will link all the sources for everything I've talked about in the link down below. It's on you as a community to decide, fuck this, we're not dealing with this. We can do better. I believe you can. And that's it for today. And as always, hope you learned something. Sorry for the rambling rant. I'm just kind of tired. I've had a lot of stuff that I'm doing. So this video is not really like my best work. I'm running a company, trying to plan a summer tour, trying to reform the DMCA, responding to one person that wants to sue me, responding to somebody else that's actually suing me, and recovering from a quadricep and a back injury. Busy life, busy life. But we're going to try to squeeze it all in. I believe in all of you. I believe in all of you. Clean up your corner of the world. See you in the next video. Bye now.